Hey guys, how you doing? It's Mr. Fuzzy Lego, and welcome back for some more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate minifigures. And today I have some more upgraded figures to show you. And today I have number 20, Falco, number 8, Pikachu, number 68, Isabelle, and number 26, Mr. Game & Watch. So of course these are upgraded figures of previous existing fighters. So I'm really excited to show you guys because they do look really cool. Without further ado, let's get started. First up is Falco Lombardi, who's of course the second fighter to join Super Smash Bros. Series from the Star Fox franchise, so it's really cool to see him in the game, and we have for almost 20 years now, so that's nothing new. But I do like this figure, and just like the Fox I made earlier this month, I wanted to make upgrades of these two figures specifically because they were some of the first ones I made for this project, so they were looking pretty interesting, and I don't like them, so I needed to go back and remake them eventually. So this is what I have now, and I think they look really cool. So I just went down, my bad. But anyway, I'm going to show you specifically how these are similar. Falco does not have a zipper, and that's because on many of the references that I saw, he didn't have a zipper, or at least it didn't look like he had one, so I left him out. They're roughly the same figure for the most part, aside from some different details. Fox actually is missing his reflector, which Falco does have. And that's made out of a cylinder that I just pretty much remade. So that's a very interesting looking piece. So as you can specifically see, their eyepieces are almost exactly the same, except for Fox's is a little bit more higher up. It's more, it's up near his eye more than Falco's. It's just because of the way the headset was sculpted onto this figure. So it definitely is not the same size. But their jackets are pretty much almost the same, aside from the zipper, as I mentioned before. So you can see how they're the same there, and as they go around, Falco's is more of a different shape than Fox's, and he also has this piece up that goes above his shirt. So that's another thing that I wanted to incorporate. He does have also the many little dots that I did. So those are pretty much another similarity between these guys before I wrap up is, of course, the belts, and they are pretty much exactly the same, and so are the holsters, even though Fox's is much, it's painted nicer. Yeah, on the back, there's actually supposed to be a Star Fox symbol, but it's not there. Another detail I want to show you is, of course, the tail, which is actually one of those little scuba things, scuba Lego pieces that you can put on the bottom of your figures that are like an Aqua Raider sets. Pretty much just sanded that down and then cut it up a bunch. But yeah, another detail, just, I quickly repainted the head, bleh, but the Star Fox symbols are there, and of course the gold rings that go around his arms are visible. So that's really it for Falco. There's not much really else to say specifically about the figure, and it's already a long video, so I want to start with some other figures. Next up is a character that I'm really excited to play in Ultimate, and that is, of course, Isabelle, who is really cute and everything, because everyone loves Isabelle. And so, basically, this one was a good attempt. It was, of course, in the fall outfit, which I prefer, but this is more of the generic default skin, so it was more important to make this one over. And, remaking it, I realized I should probably make a better head because this one is not totally accurate, and plus it's always gotten my nerves. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I did now. Looking at reference, also, she's supposed to have 3 ears on the back of her head, but just like these first two, whoa, I keep dropping them, she only has 2. So, that's pretty inaccurate, but you know how it is. We'll fix it maybe later. So, actually, what I did first is I cut off the stud of the head on the very top, and then that actually piece up there where the bell is, that is actually the stud of the head that I cut off and then re-glued to the top of my sculpted head. So that's pretty nice. I mean sculpted, you know what I mean. I re-sculpted on the top of the head and then I glued that on top. But yeah, that's good. The sculpt just looks a lot more like Isabelle, and I love it a lot more and whatnot. So that's pretty much the head sculpt. The shirt was pretty fun too, but that is of course plaid. So how that was done was just wee, and then it's just very. I'm not sure what wee supposed to meant, but you can see how it was done. It's just crosses, and then there's just squares painted in a darker green to make that plaid. I also did the back in plaid, so that was pretty fun. That's also not as clean, but you know what I mean. And then, yeah, the legs are actually inspired by the Moose's figure. I really like the design of his legs, how they were made with those weird-looking pieces with the indents in them. I thought they looked really cool, so I did that my own way. I mean, I did that how he did it, and then I gave him credits. Hope he's alright with that, and I really like it. So that's his idea. I think it looked really nice. One more thing is that she does not have custom colors for her hands. That is just the generic Lego yellow, because I didn't want to sculpt. I didn't want to paint hands because it just looks bad. So this is the closest color I can get probably, and it's alright. I might make a bunch of stuff for her to make up for it, but yeah, that's pretty much it for Isabelle, and I'm going to move on to the last figure, except there's actually 2 more figures, my bad. Next up is Pikachu, and I'm going to hope that I can get through this pretty quickly because it is a very small figure. But it's basically just a whole new re-sculpted figure that looks a lot better and more accurate than the previous, and I keep dropping them for some reason. But yeah, the head is sculpted onto Lego heads, and then of course the ears stop falling over Pikachu. The ears are sculpted, the body is the same, just repainted. And yeah, I was gonna redo like a Detective Pikachu looking thing where I painted fur all over it, but that just made it look a bit, chunky or too much detail basically for a Smash version. When Detective Pikachu does come out in theaters, I might go back and try to do a fur looking thing, but now this is pretty much what I'm happy with. So yeah, I painted a brand new mouth in them, I gave them some new eyes, and they look really nice, and the tail is just, painted in a lighter brown this time around. I swear I cannot deal with this constantly dropping figures, but that is pretty much it for Pikachu. Very simple and a nicer version than the last. Last but not least is Mr. Game & Watch, who didn't get that great of an upgrade. It's literally just the white components of this figure, but painted a darker gray to match what Smash Ultimate pretty much looks like. It's very simple. There's a lot of hair on his flag, I don't know why, but I did leave the white on the flag, just the one on it. But yeah, it's just the old Mr. Game & Watch build that I did, but just painted in a dark gray. So that is really it for Mr. Game & Watch. There's not much else to say. It's just, whatever. So that is the new Mr. Game & Watch. That's pretty much wraps up this video, guys. Make sure that you like this video and whatnot. That's pretty cool. Smash comes out in like a few days, and not by a few, I mean like 3 weeks. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. And I don't know what that noise was, but I'm going to head off now for whatnots and reasons and stuff. Thanks so much for watching if you did, and make sure you subscribe to see my other Smash Bros. Content, and I'll see you guys in the future. So goodbye.